Here's the Fortunate Tramp, Chapter 14, entitled Self-Help. He thought he had enjoyed being an estate agent. There were some aspects of the career that he found pleasurable and rewarding. Tom particularly liked the look on a newlywed's face when they brought their first home, and he felt like he was granting people's hopes and dreams. But with everything there was a dark side. It saddened him that in some way he felt he had been a part of it. It was a cruel world, and its gravity could pull you in and distort you without you realizing it. Although he wasn't a bad man, he knew he wanted to do something to help other people for a change. He carried on into town, listening to the whistle of the birds and the honking of the car horns, providing their own kind of music. He was heading for the library, a place he'd often frequented in his youth. He'd been a keen reader and had ambitions to be a successful writer. Unfortunately, he could never find the time, and before he knew it, it seemed the chance had passed him by. Finally, he arrived at the library. It was nice to flick through the papers and sit on a comfy chair again, almost a home from home. This'll come in handy in the winter, he thought. He casually flicked through the papers. Avoiding most of the bad news wasn't easy. There were a few people in the library that looked friendly, but he wasn't keen on making friends just yet. He quickly got bored of the newspapers and decided to look for a good book. He thought about reading a book, but he needed something to cheer himself up. He went to the self-help section. He was happy to clutch at straws, if that was all he had. There was a myriad of books available. How to cope with diabetes, how to cope with MS, how to cope with depression. He began to feel that the main purpose of the books were to help the author financially, more than the supposed victims. To him, it was easy for so-called experts to lecture on depression to people who often had gone through things they hadn't. He swallowed his pride and skimmed through a slim book on depression. He knew why he was depressed. He didn't need an expert to tell him why.